morning, you see addiction, the pain, the agony, the answer. We have a process and a program that Angelo will get into a little detailed discussion with you. And so that just to keep things moving forward, what we have is a collaborative effort between educational, legal, and medical, ELM. And you'll notice this, that is our triangle, a triangle of life, triangle of success in this pandemic for employers and for actually to change the world in its focus for addiction. So to keep things short, what I'm going to do is we can keep things moving. I'm going to introduce Angelo, who actually, he's an attorney, he's a litigator, he is an educator. He brings all these things together in an effort and in a way that we can take this and present it to you and to everyone. So under inspired leadership, guidance, as my spiritual brother from another mother, I would like to introduce you, Attorney Angelo Papa. You're here to drive home. Who's going to have to walk with me and say something nice?
And I do have something important to say. And what we have important to say today is, I disagree with one of my gifted communicators. It's and, it's not the. I don't think there's ever going to be a the answer. I don't think there ever will be a the answer that's all by itself. Substance abuse, okay? To me, substance abuse, I think I have a valuable contribution. I am not a doctor. I am not a person who's been doing it more than about 19 years or so. But I am a person who is a person, okay? I'm a person who's a teacher, and I've made observations. And I can tell you, if we can light that person up, and think about, there are references to alcoholism and drugs clear back to the book of Proverbs in the Bible. That's the oldest problem. This is not a new problem, okay? It's not. And there has been no progress really made until most recently, when the people in this country, we have so many smart people, and they just said, you know what, enough is enough. You can't believe the things you don't know that are out there right now. It amazes me. There's 4 levels of incompetence. Not knowing what you don't know. Knowing I don't know something is a little bit better. I don't know anything, but I know there's something I don't know, okay? There's people who are not that level yet, okay? Then there's people who know something but don't know it very well, and then there's people who know it instinctively, okay? So we know, all the scientists have believed that when you engage the addict or the alcoholic in the battle, it's different. I'm a history freak. World War II was over when America entered the war. The key ally. It was probably over if they didn't, too, the other way. The key ally is the alcoholic and the addict. So what we're talking about here is, I know some of you know this because I brought it to, where's Drug and Alcohol Commission? Okay, were you there when I visited you about 10 years ago? Okay, I was upstairs in the First Federal Plaza. Were you guys up there? Yeah. Okay, I remember bringing a substance called Vivitrol to their attention. Vivitrol is a naltrexone. I'm not a doctor, but our doctors would have been saying that on our video if we have time. Vivitrol is a naltrexone. Medicine-assisted treatment is kind of like a new breakthrough. Vivitrol first of all, it is not habit-forming. It is not addicting. It is not a narcotic. It is not any of the things, the problems associated with methadone or people who are on Suboxone or buprenorphine and don't seem to ever want to get off, okay? Naltrexone is different. A person who is on naltrexone is totally abstinent. It's been demonstrated with proper counseling to take 80-some% of the cravings away, and you couldn't get high. The receptors in the brain won't respond. I'm parroting my doctors. I'm not a doctor. I'm not wearing a different hat. You couldn't get high for a period of 30 days on alcohol or opiates. So you can't trigger that reward system that your body's craving and your body wants to do. So now for at least 30 days, what have we done? We've separated the compulsion for the drug from the person. Okay, that is so key, because many times people are doing what we call talk therapy and just standing up here like, they can't hear you. There's some wonderful things you're saying, but they can't hear it. They can't take it internally and act upon it and make proper decisions. So they're not in the fight. What kind of a war is that without the key ally sitting on the bench? This trilogy here is education, law, and medicine. A three-legged footstool, if you saw one of the legs off, it's probably not a very good piece of furniture, right? Everything seems to work in collaboration and teamwork so much better. So we're uniting the community here, and this is our little logo there, the elm tree. The elm tree, right, by the way, for you, history again, I know, don't yell at me, I'm a freak. The elm tree is on every American main street in America probably forever. There's a blight that hit him pretty hard, but the elm tree is called the freedom tree. The freedom tree was first planted up in New England during the Revolution. The British got the idea that those pain-in-the-butt patriots are meeting under that tree, so they cut the tree down. So the patriots planted a zillion trees everywhere. Ever since then, other countries plant them. They're called the freedom tree. So that community spirit is neutral. It is uniting the educators, the lawyers, and the medical professionals in the ELM project and changing how people think about it and changing how people work together. But it doesn't seem to work very well if people aren't willing to work together, okay? So again, I am pleading with you to pay attention to our next event. This isn't about Angelo Papa, attorney at law. This is a nonprofit private. I just happen to be Angelo Papa, attorney at law. I can't help it. That's who I am. I can't lie to you, okay? But we're not, this isn't a profit thing. We're not, we have a nonprofit 501c3. Some of our treatment facilities are licensed in what they do, and they are nonprofit treatment facilities. This is about something that works rather than somebody playing favorites. We won't take any methodology, modality, or doctor, lawyer, scientist. Nobody is in our group has any security. The first person that invents a better widget, we're going to say, sorry, somebody bested you. We are looking for the best and the things that work. Now, in bringing it all back together, we recognize that our doctors tell us that although the Vivitrol is non-addicting, non-habit forming, very pricey, by the way, but I guess all hospitalization coverages cover it now. And I think welfare does too. But it's your first non-narcotic medicinal intervention. Very important. Google it, alchemies, all this stuff. Okay. But there are people who give the injection out with no counseling. Did you ever take cold medication? Sure you did. Feel better? Did you finish the prescription? You almost never do, right? Take that shot, you're going to feel better. I have people say that in seconds they could feel the difference. But if you think that's it, oh boy, that's a magic shot, I'm out of here. No, this problem is bigger than that. The person could be self-medicating for 1,000 limitless amounts of mental, sociological, whatever issues. It needs coordinated counseling, okay? So we have the Vivitrol, and we have the coordinated counseling, which is extended care, maybe like 6 months to a year and a half or 2 years, okay? It's important. You don't just walk away. But guess what? The Vivitrol people can't give that injection if the person's not clean. Have you guys been, what's my time at? Help me. 5 minutes? Good, I'm headed right down the pike here. Okay, am I leaving enough time for any questions too? No, got it, okay. When I'm done, I'm good. So, thank you, Your Honor. I promise to sum it up. Vivitrol can't be administered if you're not clean. Have any of you been shocked at the Narcan word? The Narcan method? The Narcan? Well, whenever you want to weigh in, and I listen to these talk shows and badmouth somebody who woke up and swung at the policeman, I want you to remember one thing. Oh, you should never swing at a policeman. You should never swing at anybody who helps you. But you don't understand. These people are falling asleep, as far as they know, and peacefully going to a different place. When's the last time you were in your chair and you were woken up by something? It startles you. It makes you swing something. You go, oh, I'm sorry, I was asleep. So they wake up, and you know what happens when they wake up? They are in the midst of violent, total withdrawal. Something that can only go away. The violent, the throwing up, feeling like knives puncturing your body, somebody peeling the skin off your back, the flu, the lightest feelings. The only way that'll go away after they were saved is if they what? Do more drugs. Okay? So the latest member to weigh in is a device we call the Bridge, FDA approved about 12 weeks ago. It's not even dry yet, the ink. Okay? But the Bridge will, there's peer test reviews where people have reduced the pain by 85% within 10 minutes to an hour. Okay? Now, what do we have? They are no longer violently throwing up. They are now engaged. And they will be engaged for about 5 days. Their body will metabolize the rest of those opiates out of their system. And you'll have 5 days in which to talk to them and get them into therapy. And maybe the blockade, the Vivitrol blockade. And again, I don't know why it just keeps coming up to triangles wherever we're going, these trilogies. But anyway, so what our nonprofit is advocating, and we have 5 places we're going to be opening that are nonprofit distribution centers, is somebody who, right off of Narcan, bridges them so they don't go do drugs again, brings them to counseling with their parents in 4 or 5 days, and hopefully they will make a decision to go to the next step in the comprehensive journey. Not the answer, but an answer. A better answer than there's ever been since the book of Proverbs. And shame on us if we say, well, I'm going to find a way to challenge it. You know, hey, we can never let perfect be the enemy of damn good. You know, so we're hoping that you will become part of our educational thing here. And when it's over, you will challenge your doctor. Hey, what's this going on about this Bridge thing I heard? What do you think those TV commercials is? Ask your doctor about AstraZeneca. Is that it? Did I say it right? Every night I'm watching TV, falling asleep. But ask your doctor about the Bridge. Ask your doctor about naltrexone. Ask your doctor about Vivitrol. Challenge your doctor. And then start challenging your elected official to, come on, you guys got to get with it here. Stop pouring that money down a rabbit hole and start granting some of this. So there's one problem. You know the biggest problem we have? We know when we roll this out, there's going to be people who can't afford it in the beginning because you have to buy the damn thing. If you can't afford it and nobody knows about it in government yet, we're telling people, we're sorry, but you can't row a boat alongside the Titanic and say, does anybody want to ride? Because everybody's going to die. So we're trying to tell people we are not, and nor will we ever allow anybody who gets references off us to profiteer in this misery problem. But at some point in time, the elected officials have to get up to speed too. So, am I at 5 minutes? I'm done. Right. So, any questions? I'm sorry I went so fast, but I wanted you to get the big picture because you can always talk to us and call us later or look at our websites and get the rest of the picture. Okay, so it's my experience. I'm not a doctor. It's my experience that the first thing is that first, to get them properly motivated, and jail seems to work. I have 594 arrests a year. 40% of the United States population over age 12, substance abuse problem more than lung, breast, and prostate cancer combined. Okay, there's lots of people out there. And the police are arresting lots of them. When they're arrested, as soon as they get arrested, you take them to the doctor and the attorney at the same time. Because the doctor is going to get them into sobriety because they're so afraid of what's coming, and you're going to get more progress than ever, and you have your attorney standing in court and saying, Your Honor, and the judge is liable to say, well, I don't believe it. Okay, Your Honor, just continue the case for 2 or 3 months and let's take a look. We save more people by just delay with that hanging over their head. When they come out, though, huge problem, because, they have all kind of adjustments to make. They need to have, be smothered by family when they come out and get them to extended care counseling, even if it wasn't a substance abuse issue. So, but engage the professionals and have them in place before they walk out, okay? Because in one event, 2 in the morning, it's over and you start all over again. So we have a last chance employment contract where we get in touch with the employer and say, we're going to put you in a real treatment program that works, and the employer will usually give them one more chance. I can't believe I almost missed that. Okay, the employer is going to give them one more chance. So we save the employer from being sued in several different forums and having all these hearings here, and we get them connected. Sometimes we have very powerful executives who have a substance problem, and alcohol, by the way, is a substance problem. The Vivitrol blockade works in alcohol. So likewise, we actually save their executive. They have a fortune invested in. And lastly, the thing that's on the plate now is for us to get employers and unions to start deducting from the paychecks of their employees small amounts and have a pre-funded plan for anybody who has a substance abuse problem along these lines. And now VRN is the actual doctor facility that does it, but sacs is the general front door for anything. Sacs is a place where an attorney, where a doctor, an employer, an employee, somebody like you who just wants to be on the advisory board, somebody like you who wants to be part of it. We've been begging Gail to get involved because she's so busy, but anybody who wants to get involved, you know, we're just hoping that you join. But sacs and all that contact information is your porthole. Our nonprofits, the very first word is verifiable. Not only that it works, it's verifiable legally. When you show somebody that they've been abstinent for a period of 18 months, I think we might have a different scenario. So that is so important to be verifiable. And that's why that conversation about in a court of law where you had to prove it. You have to we have to be better at professional applications. Neil Capretta, who's on our advisory board, poor Neil, he's very ill right now, but Neil Capretta from Gateway says until we have 100% success 100% of the time with 100% of the people, we still have work to do. But I am telling you, we in a business that talks about 30% success rate, in this trilogy, we have seen it in the 90s. When you take the bridge, 85% of the pain will go away. The people who take the bridge, 85% of them have gone on to treatment. In a world right now that we live in where only 10% have ever sought any kind of treatment. We're going to be opening a facility in Bradenton, Chandler, Arizona, Moon Township, and Newcastle. There's already John Wrightson up here on Wilmington Avenue. You can see on his wall, Verifiable Recovery Network, right here in Newcastle. And so our goal, our job, what we are excited about is to proliferate and spread this as fast and far as we can. Okay, and again, it goes back to sacs. There's two things that we're telling people. There's two takeaway points here, okay? What is it that, what the heck did I sit through, okay? It's fine. Please pay attention to that. It's finally possible to prevent drug and alcohol relapse. I am telling you, it is scientifically possible. Do all your due diligence. 7 years from now, you'll come back and say he was right, okay? 10 minutes from now, you'll know. So it's finally possible. So our takeaway today is get tested today. We have an assessment for a patient to see the likelihood that they would achieve success. Or get, where do I fit in? I want to be a teacher. I want to be a presenter. I want to do more or something. That's all we're doing today, these two things. And it all starts with that contact information at sacs. Somebody else will walk you through every porthole there is.